Madam Clerk, the time is now 7 p.m.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The time is now 7 p.m. I'd like to call this regular Township Council meeting to order. Roll call, Councilwoman Perone,
Present.
Councilman Anderson, Councilwoman McIntosh,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Present.
and Mayor Whitfield.
Present.
Thank you. For our prayer tonight, we have our very own Deputy Manager, Gary B. Lowry III from Willingboro Township.
Quite the introduction. God bless. Let us bow our heads. Father God in heaven, we thank you, O Lord, for allowing us to join together just one more time. We thank you for this day, a day that we've never seen before and a day that we'll never see again. Lord, I ask that you touch each and every council member right now under the sound of my voice. Bless the manager, the residents, the clerks, and all of us, God, as we come here today to do the business of the township. We love you and magnify you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Please rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. For our compliance statement, notice was provided in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 to the Burlington County Times, Trenton Times, and Philadelphia Inquirer, stating the date, time, place, and the agenda to the extent it was known. Additionally, notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming back to another meeting. And those online, just as a reminder, for our public comment, we will continue to live stream the meetings with the understanding that occasionally technical issues may happen. In such cases, we'll give every effort to record and upload the full meeting to the township's website as soon as possible after the meeting. However, due to unpredictable technology issues, including those that occur outside of our control, in order to ensure fairness and consistency in public participation process, until further notice, until further notice, public comments will no longer be accepted through the live stream platform. Residents are strongly encouraged to attend meetings in person and participate in the public comment portion, or you can send notice to our clerk's office via mail or email. All right. We have quite a few things on our agenda this evening, but before we jump into the business of the meeting, we do have a few proclamations this month. This week is Fire Prevention Week, and yesterday we had an open house at our firehouse with Chief Burnett and our fire staff. It was an incredible event, and we learned a lot about lithium-ion batteries and the dangers that they can cause in your home. So Chief Burnett, will you come up and read the Fire Prevention Week proclamation?
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
All right, there we go. Good evening, Mayor and Council. If I may, before I get into the proclamation, just tell you a couple items about lithium-ion batteries. In the back, I left some fire safety sheets about lithium-ion batteries. Please take one before you leave. We all have lithium-ion batteries that charge our cell phones, our e-bikes, our golf cars, power tools, laptops, tablets. So it is very important to be able to make sure that we charge our devices properly and not overcharge them. And just real quick, two quick stories. Two quick stories. One, this happened in New York on July 4th. This year in Queens, New York, a 76-year-old resident walked into a pizzeria to use the bathroom. While inside, a lithium-ion powered e-bike that was parked in the hallway next to the bathroom began to off-gas and went into thermal runaway. The flame, high heat, and toxic gases trapped the patron. The Fire Department of New York responded. Companies responded quickly and rescued her. The lady was taken to the hospital and was intubated. Sadly, she never recovered from her injuries and died a few days later. She was the first lithium-ion battery-related fatality in New York City in 2025 and 35 since 2021. Also, a couple years ago, we had a lithium-ion battery fire at a resident where the e-scooter bike caught fire and actually went up the side of the house, went into the attic. I arrived first on the scene as the first fire official arrived on the scene, and I could not believe what I saw, where it created a smoke explosion. The whole roof lifted off the house and landed back on top of its foundation. If I wasn't there first, my staff probably would have went inside, fought the fire, but that house was compromised. But so lithium-ion batteries are very, very dangerous if they're misused and not charged properly. So this is why we have our fire prevention. I know it's Fire Prevention Week, but we say it's Fire Prevention Year, that we want you to be safe. And I will read the proclamation to support that. And I want to thank Council for signing that proclamation too. So Proclamation 2025 Fire Prevention Week, whereas the Township of Willingboro is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in the township and visiting, and whereas fire remains a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and the presence of lithium-ion batteries in many household devices introduces unique fire risk. And whereas most of the electronics used in homes daily, including smartphones, tablets, laptops, power tools, e-bikes, scooters, and toys, are powered by lithium-ion batteries, which, if misused, damaged, or improperly charged, can overheat, start a fire, or explode. And whereas the National Fire Protection Association, NFPA, reports an increase in battery-related fires, underscoring the need for public education on the safe and use of lithium-ion batteries. And whereas residents should follow three key calls to action: buy only listed products, charge batteries safely, and recycle them responsibly to prevent battery-related fires. And whereas lithium-ion batteries store a large amount of energy in a small space, and improper use, such as overcharging, using off-brand chargers without safety certifications, or exposing batteries to damage, can result in fire or explosion. And whereas the proper disposal and recycling of lithium-ion batteries help prevent environmental hazards and reduce fire risks in the home and community. And whereas the Township of Willingboro first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of fires through prevention, safety, education, and community outreach. Whereas the 2025 Fire Prevention Week theme, Charging into Safety, Lithium-Ion Batteries in Your Home, serves to remind us to the importance of using, charging, and recycling lithium-ion batteries safely to reduce fire, or to reduce the risk of fires in homes and communities. Now, therefore, I, Samantha Whitfield, Mayor of Township of Willingboro, do hereby proclaim the week of October 5th through the 11th, 2025 as Fire Prevention Week in the Township of Willingboro, and urge all residents to make sure that their homes have working smoke alarms and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of the Township of Willingboro's Fire and Emergency Services. Signed this date, October 27th, by the mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Burnett. Thank you, Chief Burnett. We do have one other proclamation this evening. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and our Deputy Mayor will be reading that proclamation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Chief. And I just wanted to reiterate 4 things that I learned that Chief shared with us about the lithium-ion batteries, because I think it's just important to continue to reiterate it. And the simple things like charge on a hard, flat surface, not on your bed, not on your couch. Use the charger that came with your device. A lot of times we'll swing by Walgreens or Five Below, but we need to invest the dollars in the real charger so that we have the right chargers. If you have to jiggle the cord to charge, it's time for a new charger. I know I'm guilty of that. I just thought I had like that lucky touch, and I could get it to charge, but now I know, yeah, get a new charger. And when your device is fully charged, unplug it. So thank you, Chief, and thank you, Madam Mayor, for highlighting the importance of that fire safety year here in Willingboro. Proclamation declaring October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Whereas October marks Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a time when communities across the country unite in hope, strength, and determination to raise awareness, celebrate survivorship, and support the continued fight for a cure. And whereas great strides have been made in the detection, treatment, and survival of breast cancer, with millions of survivors living vibrant, fulfilling lives, a testament to the power of research, early detection, and compassionate care. And whereas Willingboro Township stands with those who have faced breast cancer with resilience and courage and honors the strength of survivors, the love of families, the dedication of caregivers, and the passion of advocates working every day to bring hope and healing. And whereas every pink ribbon worn, every step taken in a walk, and every dollar raised through community efforts helps to fuel innovative research, life-saving education, and critical support for those in need. And whereas our township is proud to be part of a nationwide movement that is making a difference, advancing science, increasing awareness, and bringing us closer to a world without breast cancer. And whereas this month also reminds us that knowledge is power. Through regular screenings, healthy lifestyle choices, and community education, we can reduce risks and save lives. And whereas Willingboro is a community rooted in compassion and action, one that comes together to lift one another up, celebrate survivorship, and support families during difficult times with grace and generosity. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Mayor Samantha E. Whitfield, Mayor of the Township of Willingboro, on behalf of the governing body and all residents, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2025 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the Township of Willingboro, and encourages all residents to spark conversations that spread awareness, support survivors and their families, recognizing their courage and sharing in their hope. Take action by participating in local events, screenings, and fundraisers, and look ahead with optimism, believing in the power of science, community, and the human spirit. Together, we shine brighter, we stand stronger, and we move closer to a cure. Signed, Samantha E. Whitfield, Mayor of Willingboro Township. And Mayor, I also just wanted to add, I just want to remind the community that all people can get breast cancer. And so it's just, it's good to take preventive measures because anybody can have breast cancer. And also let's continue to encourage companies to stop just making donations during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but to stop producing different products that actually lead to breast cancer. Some of the largest contributors to the research for breast cancer come from companies that are actually creating products that lead to breast cancer. So there's a lot of work and advocacy to be done. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Yes, I echo those sentiments. Sometimes the biggest culprits are the biggest donors. But many of us in the community have known, loved, lost someone due to breast cancer. So we know how important early detection is. And this is just a reminder to make sure you get screened, do your self checks, and take your precautions throughout the year, not just in October. All right, we'll move forward into the business portion of the meeting. Mr. Harris, if you would give your municipal updates.
Good evening, members of the governing body and members of the Willingboro community. We're going to start off this evening by asking our engineer, Mr. Shapola, to come and give a very brief update on engineering matters that have been going on in the municipality. Judge it. Yeah, Mr. Shapola's going to judge it. Short and sweet.
How's that? Is that better? Okay, thank you. We are going to be requesting a resolution to award a contract to Field Turf Construction on the October 21st council meeting for the Kennedy Track Center improvements. And this would include the new asphalt track, grading, topsoil and irrigation, and drainage at the infield. And lighting will be included as a supplement through a change order later on in the contract. Tonight we are awarding a resolution to Thing Pavers. This will include 6 streets for concrete curb ramps as part of PSE's paving project for Sussex Drive, Surrey, Sudbury, Sherwood, Shetland, and Shawmont Lanes. For Jake's Playground and pickleball courts, we're moving ahead with revisions to save $300,000 in playground layouts and equipment. No pickleball courts are to be removed at this time. All 6 are to remain in the base bid, and alternate bids for less courts will be included to keep the bid amount close to the grant amount. I will be requesting proposals from engineering firms to complete supporting steel repairs for 4 rooftop units at the Kennedy Center. And these conditions, the deteriorated conditions were found at rooftop inspections several weeks ago. Edge Lane roadway improvements, I will be having a kickoff meeting tomorrow with Pavings Plus of Glassboro. And we are going to be trying to be proactive and moving forward with different items such as the kickoff meeting and getting submittals into me so that we can award the contract on October 21st council meeting in order to keep the project moving for completion in 2025. Performing Arts Center Phase 2 is going well and is on schedule. The weekly meetings that I have requested have helped to keep everybody in line and if there's any issues that come up, we're able to get them squared away right away. There are some miscellaneous stage equipment selections that still need to be finalized, but we've had a flurry of submittals and we've been turning them around with no issues. The Babbitt Lane Stormwater Basin improvements are design is currently underway and on schedule for completion within 5 to 6 weeks. For the food court, I'm still awaiting prices from the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey Cooperative Contractor. I expect prices within 1 week. For the Kennedy Center 2 bathrooms, we're going to be requesting an award to Ascend Construction Management Company for $143,000 at the October 21st council meeting. Senior Center, Library, and relocation, updated plans for the interior renovations and courtyard improvements were provided to administration for review and comments. And once I receive those comments, I'll get back to the engineer to include those in the final drawings. I'm currently working with Schneider Electric Company to have a new building management system set up for the HVAC networks, and this will include having everything brought in under one program. This would be for the Kennedy Center, Library, MLK building, and we expect to have that proposal back from Schneider in 2 weeks. I'm going to be looking into getting budget prices for replacements for the Pennypacker, Hawthorne, and Country Club pools, and I'm going to try to schedule on-site meetings with pool contractors so we can get some budget prices. CME engineers are currently underway with the New Jersey DOT Local Aid Infrastructure Grant funding for 6 sites. They are Ballard Lane, Pageant and Plumtree Lane, Shetland, Topeka Pass, and Tipton Lanes. I personally held a site visit yesterday with the project manager to go over all items that are included and necessary for the grant application so we can get it done right the first time. I inspected Mill Creek Park Pavilion C and the tennis pavilions. Both are in fair to good condition. Pavilion C needs a good cleaning and needs to be repainted. That would be including all the metal structural portions of that. For the tennis pavilion, that needs a new roof as soon as possible and some trim and fascia replacements. And I'll also be preparing an RFP to go out very soon for engineering firms to provide cost for design of a floating dock behind the Department of Public Works pond. I'm not sure if there's a name for that pond, but as far as I know, it's just the pond. And we received a county grant for $175,000 for that project, which needs to be done within 2 years. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Chipola. Are there any questions for Mr. Chipola? I had just a few.
Sure.
The asphalt track or the track rehabilitation, is asphalt the same material that's on the track currently?
Underneath the
rubber.
engineered, I don't know the technical terms, but it's a rubberized material that they use for competitive track surfaces. And that's been, as far as I know, that's been on for decades and it's been deteriorated. So The cost was very expensive to get another one of those, surfaces on the track was like $200,000 or something like that. So we decided to just to go with an asphalt replacement. Basically, what you're getting for the people that use it, they're not using high speed, so then they don't need the grip and the traction.
Well, I'll
No,
yeah, I have to disagree with you because many of the people that use the track or some of our seniors are using it for treatment, for rehabilitation of injuries, and they use the track and the rubberized surface because it's softer on their joints. A lot of our seniors walk at the track, and that's the main thing. I just had a conversation this week with a resident saying how much the track has helped her in her rehabilitation from having pins put in her leg. But
Okay.
it's that rubberized surface that really makes the difference.
So will we investigate that and have a conversation with Alimo and see what the cost upgrade to have a rubberized
okay,
put on that?
sure. We can certainly do that, Mayor.
Great. Yeah, the asphalt, it's good in some cases, but I know for people that are training and that are in rehab and using the walking, it's not good on their joints. Also, I think that was it. Anybody else have any other questions? Mhm.
Thank you, madam. When you referred to the DPW pond, are we talking about Crystal Lake?
That might be it. Is that what it's called? Okay,
Lake.
right. Yeah, we're looking to get, we just received a grant, 175,000 for that.
Loading dock. Yeah.
Crystal Lake.
At
Okay.
Crystal
It
Lake.
sounds a lot better than the pond behind DPW.
Yes. Yes. And also, I just want to clarify that there's no library relocation that is happening. You mentioned library
Okay.
relocation again.
It's on the drawings.
Yeah, but the words matter and
Okay.
our residents, are very passionate about that issue. So I just want to
Understood.
make sure that the library is not relocating. We are still moving forward with renovations on JFK though.
I'll make sure that won't be said at the next meeting.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Dr. Worthy?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. You mentioned about JFK and Schneider, and there was something that you said about that, but I didn't write it down fast enough. Can you restate?
We're going to be looking at a building management system, which is going to integrate the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems for 3 buildings. It's going to be the Kennedy Center, this building, the MLK building, and the library, so that it can be all done through laptops or through desktops. I'm not sure about cell phones, but it's going to be a system that could be easily
To manage.
programmed
back
and managed, right, without having to go through individual buildings. So it's going to be a kind of a one-shop, network, if you will,
Okay.
that they're going to be providing. They went around last week, the gentleman from 2 or 3 gentlemen from Schneider Electric came around last week, went to all 3 buildings, and I was there at all 3 buildings and took a lot of notes. They had drawings and just,
Is that going to be paid through our ESIP savings, or is that an additional cost for the?
I haven't gotten into the funding for that yet, how that's going to be funded. It's something Mr. Harris and I could discuss. But it's a,
That's important.
right, but it's a good system for us to have. It'll bring us into the 20th century,
The funding.
21st century.
But the funding part.
Understood.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
Okay, you're welcome, folks. Thank you.
Mr. Harris, you can continue.
Thank you. I will go ahead and on with my report. So the township has achieved another significant milestone in our community-wide LED lighting upgrade initiative, which, as you know, is a multi-phase project that will ultimately transform the street lighting in Willingboro to LED lighting. Phase 3 of this comprehensive modernization has entered the active installation phase, and according to coordination with PSC&G, installation crews have begun working on the 5th of October on installing LED on 9 streets, and again, in the P section, the Pennypacker section of town. I'm not sure which 9 streets they were, but they I think it's probably almost the rest of them. But I will say 9 streets, and I'm not really sure which 9. And again, but this is again a multi-phase, multi-year project, which will systematically work its way around Willingboro. Our Department of Public Works has been busy throughout September and early October. They have successfully managed infrastructure projects and facility improvements, really demonstrating their ability to handle some complex overlapping initiatives while maintaining quality and schedules as well. They recently completed the new DPW pole barn, which this facility will provide the Department of Public Works with much needed coverage, storage, and workspace, protecting our valuable equipment from weather exposure and extending their operational life. This has been something that has been carried on for a few years now. So we're very happy to see that it has finally come to completion, and it looks good. So if you get an opportunity, drive by. Can everyone hear me? Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. They've also been working for the renovation of our human resources relocation to room 114 and the training room in room 118 at the JFK Center. Contractors have successfully finished drywall over their installation, creating a fresh, properly finished walls to provide a clean, professional appearance. We're installing new window air conditionings, and as of this report, carpet installation was scheduled for this week. Has that begun? Thursday, okay. Which will complete the transformation of these spaces, and then we're just waiting for some furniture to be moved into that space. And then we will be relocating our human resources department there and establishing a training room adjacent to it. In a visible demonstration of the community's commitment to enhancing public spaces, the DPW has completed a landscaping project at the Willingboro Township Public Library. They planted 8 Natchez crepe myrtle trees along the library and frontage, immediately improving the aesthetic appeal of that space. But that served as a multi-purpose as well. As we know, we had to remove those trees because they were lifting the sidewalks there and creating several trip hazards. So that has been abated in that process. And they've also gone ahead and recognizing that these newly planted trees require a constant watering, specialized bags, these 20-gallon water bags at each tree, which will slowly release water into the trees, keeping them moist and encouraging their growth and maturity. So I just want to thank DPW for making sure that that project got moved along very quickly and efficiently, again, as it was becoming a real liability with people tripping in front of the library. During our preliminary assessments of addressing leaking windows and skylights at the public library, maintenance personnel discovered the presence of mold in that building. We are in the process of finding qualified vendors to perform comprehensive mold testing and ultimately remediation. One of the things that we are looking at is removing those skylights and replacing them with solar, what are they called again, Mr. Chipola? Did he leave? Oh, okay. So I forget what they're called, but they're similar. They're essentially skylights, but instead of a plastic dome, it's like a cone that comes in and the light reflects, and it pretty much gives the same result, but it will provide a little more protection to the roofing system. So we're looking at that, and we are moving forward with replacing the carpet in the library, and of course, we do not want to replace the carpet with leaking roofs and areas there. So although the replacement of the carpet is moving along, we need to address the leaking skylights before. So that is that. Let's move on to the finance department. The annual tax sale is scheduled for October 15th. They have completed their preparation for this sale. This event, which happens every year, represents one of the most critical revenue collection mechanisms for the township. This year, the sale encompasses 572 individual line items comprised of commercial and some residential properties. These are our delinquent tax obligation. And the total face amount of these delinquencies totals $1.5 million. So it is our hope that at the end of this sale, we will sell off $1.5 million of these liabilities, not of the libraries, of the liabilities, bolstering our financial position here in Willingboro. So following the sale, the finance department will prepare a report, a comprehensive post-sale report for your benefit, detailing the collection results, the successful lien purchases, unsuccessful offerings, redemption activities, and the overall revenue impact. Our public safety, the police department has organized a firearms informational forum, which is scheduled for October the 9th at the JFK Center, demonstrating the department's proactive and educational approach to public safety. The response for this event was outstanding. With 239 residents already confirmed, it was essentially sold out, and they are going to schedule a second session for persons who are interested in this information. The forum will provide community members with critical information about firearm safety, legal responsibilities of gun ownership, and proper storage practices and resources available to residents. So if you weren't able to register for the event this week, look for part 2, which will be coming up at some point in the future. Some current challenges in the department. They did encounter an unexpected and frustrating challenge in fleet management. After securing the proper authorization to purchase 3 police vehicles, the approved vendor discovered they no longer had the specific vehicles in stock. So, it's not uncommon with today's challenges in the supply chain. But they're actively working with vendors and exploring alternatives to minimize this operational impact. But we're going to be compelled to look at 2026 models when they become available. And despite this challenge, the department continues to maintain full operational readiness, utilizing existing fleet resources while working towards the resolution of this procurement issue. Our fire and EMS, as was mentioned, yesterday they hosted the annual fire prevention open house at the department's facility. It was very successful, so I won't go through that again. On Friday, the 26th, the fire and EMS department responded to what would become one of the most challenging and dramatic incidences, where a motor vehicle accident resulted in a complete submersion of the vehicle in the Rancocas Creek. The incident occurred at the terminus of JFK Way and Martins Beach, where the driver went around the vehicle and then proceeded to go through a barrier into the lake and was fully submerged. Unfortunately, residents and neighbors who witnessed the accident took immediate action and successfully extricated the individual from the submerged vehicle, and their quick thinking and brave response undoubtedly prevented what could have been a fatality. As underwater vehicle entrapment represents one of the most critical and dangerous situations in emergency responses. So we will ask Chief Burnett if he could find out who those residents were that risked themselves, and maybe we can give them some recognition at a future council meeting. Code enforcement and inspections. The inspections department has maintained active enforcement efforts throughout since we last met, addressing multiple categories of violations while also balancing education and voluntary compliance. Regarding enforcement actions, they continue to encounter persistent challenges with commercial vehicle dumping at vacant commercial properties and lots throughout the township. These violations not only create unsightly conditions, but also pose health and environmental hazards and attract additional illegal dumping. So, we are aggressively trying to control those. Commercial truck parking violations remains an ongoing concern, particularly in residential areas where large commercial vehicles create sightline obstructions. And the department has also found itself addressing the daily posting of political signs in locations that violate the township's ordinances regarding placement, timing, and or the proper ownership of the property, or the placement of the signs on properties that they are really not permitted to put signs on. So while political expression enjoys strong constitutional protection, sign ordinances serve as legitimate government interest in regards to safety, aesthetic concerns, and property rights. So we will be introducing an ordinance after the election season to address some of these continuing issues. Recognizing that effective code enforcement involves not only responding to complaints, but identifying and addressing potential hazards before they cause injuries. The inspections department has undertaken proactive initiatives focused on pedestrian safety. Inspectors are systematically improving properties or identifying properties where overgrown vegetation has encroached on public sidewalks, creating obstructions that force pedestrians into the street or make sidewalks impassable. And property owners are being issued notices regarding require them to trim back the vegetation to allow safe sidewalk passage. Similarly, the department has prioritized addressing low-hanging tree branches that also create hazards for pedestrians. And they also create liability concern for the township when located in public right-of-way. And by addressing these issues, they are proactively preventing injuries rather than simply responding to a situation after someone has been injured. They are also undertaking aggressive enforcement regarding businesses operating without required mercantile licenses for 2025. To date, they have issued 32 summonses to business owners who have failed to obtain these mandatory licenses. So they will continue to work with the clerk's office to enforce these codes in the township. The department does face some challenges regarding short-term residential rental properties advertised on platforms like Booking.com and Airbnb. These rental arrangements where residential properties are rented to transient guests for short periods of time raise multiple regulatory concerns, including zoning compliance, life safety requirements, tax collection, and neighborhood character impacts. So the department is monitoring these situations and working to identify properties being used for short-term rentals and determining the appropriate enforcement strategies that balance the property owner's rights against the neighborhood's preservation and regulatory compliance. But they are actively monitoring and dealing with those individuals as they come to our attention. We're going to go on to recreation. The recreation department has experienced significant and positive personnel changes during since we last spoke, strengthening its capacity to deliver quality programs and services to township residents. We did promote one of our talented employees, Mr. David Kalanges, to the position of recreation program coordinator. And additionally, one person has returned from medical leave, and we have hired 3 new individuals in the department, bringing the department to a more fuller staffing level and allowing us to offer more diverse programs, serve more residents, and respond to community requests for activities and services. So we thank Mr. Lloyd for the work that he is doing over in the recreation department during these transitions. Mr. Chipola did mention that we have been awarded a $175,000 grant from the Burlington County Municipal Park Development Program to be used for the construction of an accessible fishing dock or pier at Crystal Lake, not the pond, Crystal Lake. Yeah, this is a significant grant award, which not only recognizes our commitment as a community to have more inclusive recreation and but a meaningful investment in expanding opportunities. I know this is something that Councilwoman McIntosh has been talking about for several years now. And I'm very happy to see it finally coming into fruition. Now, I don't know that the grant amount will allow us to build anything more than one, but it is a start in the future movement for having accessibility and fishing opportunities in Willingboro. The Recreation Department has also embarked on exciting, potential, impactful partnerships, exploring a financial literacy program with Chase Bank. They are also going to be working with the Beloved Project, who has formally moved into the JFK Center and will be over there operating to expand services and programming to Willingboro community and residents. And finally, but not least, on September the 15th, Mr. Anthony Bucci, our new Human Resource Manager, began his tenure here in Willingboro, bringing fresh leadership and perspective into this critical administrative function. Mr. Bucci will be replacing Ms. Anderson, who will be formally retiring at the end of this month. And I would like to ask Mr. Bucci if he will come and present himself to the governing body at this time. Mr. Bucci.
I don't know what present myself is, but. No, my name is Anthony Bucci. I've worked in government for about 25 years. I've worked mostly in Camden County with the Board of Commissioners, with Commissioner Capelli, in Cherry Hill Township for Mayor Platt. And for about the past 10 years at the Camden County Police Department as their Human Resources Manager. I spent 2 years down in the Tampa area at St. Pete, working in private sector. Came home for family reasons. Love the weather up here as opposed to sweating all the year long in Florida. So I was fortunate enough to work with Mr. Harris. One of the major initiatives we're working on right now, just so you guys know, is we're putting forth a new employee review program run through a program called Perform Yard. I'm working with our new vendor to establish standardized review process, start up SMART goals for each department as well as individual employee. We're going to do reviews on a biannual basis. We'll be meeting with each department head starting. The formal kickoff is October 30th, and then the month of November, I'm going to meet with each department head as many times as they want so we can individualize each review process for each employee. And then the month of December, we're going to start rolling out employee reviews. So for January 1st, everybody will have a fresh review, and then twice a year from there, resetting their goals so that they meet the standards of the township. Other than that, we're going through open enrollment and a couple other small time projects, but it's been a fun couple of weeks so far. It's a pleasure meeting
Thank
with
you, Mr. Bucci, and welcome to Willingboro.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bucci. So finally, just an update on the Big D Marina. We have pretty much gone through all of the requirements and in that in-rem foreclosure process, which culminated a few weeks ago with the formal filing and posting of the notice of foreclosure in the newspapers. Within 15 days after that, then our solicitor will make sure all of the notifications are made to the county clerk's office, the state attorney generals, the tax assessor, and any other individuals that have and may have an interest in the property. I believe there was a 45-day appeal window, and once that 45-day window has completed, then I believe he is able to go ahead and make the petition to foreclose on that property. So that is coming to a culmination as well. And I know I shared a lot, but we are also beginning the 2026 budgeting process, and we'll be scheduling those hearings for very early in November. So thank you for taking the time to listen to all I have to say tonight.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Harris, for your very comprehensive report. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Harris on anything? No? All right. No? All right.
And one other thing.
One other thing.
Balfour Lane.
Yes.
Balfour Lane has been remediated. That problem property has been remediated. We did speak to an exterminator who does have the ability to go ahead and place the mouse traps in the neighboring yards, but we need to get permission from the property owner. to go onto their property and do that. So I asked Mr. Holt to review an authorization and release. And as soon as he gives the thumbs up, we will ask them to sign it and we will move towards getting that completed as well. And that really is it. So I'm going to ask Ms. Jackson if she would come at this time and just give you a briefing on the events happening in Willingboro over the next couple of weeks.
Good
Good evening,
Good evening.
Mayor, Deputy Mayor, members of council, and all those assembled. We are just want to let you know that we are looking forward to our annual Trunk or Treat event, plus a little bit more, which will be held on Saturday, October 25th from 2 to 4 at the Kennedy Center. And we certainly appreciate all those who have volunteered to serve as trunksters, donate candy, and event volunteers. So we do have the registration deadline open until the 17th, but slots are filling up quickly, so early registration is encouraged if residents are planning to be a part of this year's event. And on that same day, we will have the DEA Drug Take Back Day that will be hosted by our Willingboro Police Department, and that will be held from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. near the rear of this building. All encouraged to bring their unneeded medication and have it disposed safely. Our leaf collection begins on October 27th. Information has been mailed to all residents regarding park schedules and procedures, and more information will be shared as the date approaches. And we are certainly looking forward to our holiday season, and next couple months, we are planning to host a Veterans Day breakfast this year, our annual tree lighting, and breakfast with Santa. So, and also we want to keep in front of you, as Mr. Harris shared, there's a lot of growth and activity going on at the recreation department. So we want to remind you of our ongoing dance and fitness classes, pickleball, basketball sessions, and more that have been hosted by the recreation department. And for those interested in securing space at the Kennedy Center, you can visit willingboroRec.com. There is a new layout and user-friendly view now available to you, so you can see what events are happening and what dates are available to you prior to initiating the booking process. So we think that you will appreciate that opportunity if you visit the site and see that. As a reminder, the municipal offices and buildings are going to be closed on Monday in observance of Indigenous Peoples Day. So we just want you to keep that in front of you. So for more information about this and any of the items that I've shared, you can visit our website, Willingboro Weekly, and our social media. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Any questions? Dr. Worthy?
Just one, Ms. Jackson, is the Veterans Day breakfast on Veterans Day or a different day? Can you
Yes,
share
I
that?
should have. Oh, yes, it will be on November 11th. At 11 o'clock. We are in the planning process, but what we anticipate that we will serve breakfast just prior, have a brief program, and make sure that we do something intentional to honor our veterans. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Any other questions? Seeing none, we will move on to the resolution review.
Thank you, Mayor. So being presented to you for your consideration this evening is ordinance number 18, which is an ordinance governing the management of community cats in Willingboro Township. It was the desire of the council to enact this ordinance in an effort to balance humane treatment of free roaming cats with the public health, environmental, of quality of life concerns of Willingboro Township residents. So a few meetings ago, several residents or concerned parties came, expressed their concerns, and but the council had already been working on moving forward with this ordinance, but it is finally in place and ready for introduction. Ordinance number 17 is an ordinance authorizing the municipal clerk to correct non-substantial and non-material errors in legislation. And move on to the resolutions. Resolution number 239 is a resolution authorizing the approval of vouchers for payment and ratification. Resolution number 240 is a resolution authorizing refunds for the overpayment of taxes. Resolution number 241 is a resolution authorizing an extended property tax grace period for eligible federal employees and federal contractors in the event of a federal government shutdown, which we are in the midst of a federal government shutdown. But what this will do is if the shutdown exceeds 21 days, it will allow persons who can verifiably prove that they work for the government and are affected by the shutdown to defer their November tax payments to February. And it's just a one-period deferral. And that, again, is if it exceeds 21 days and they are able to prove that they work for the federal government and are affected by this shutdown. Resolution number 242 is a resolution authorizing a change order number 2 for the contractor of Think Pavers Hardscaping LLC for concrete repairs. Mr. Chipola did kind of mention this in his report. This change order is essentially going to be doing installing handicap ramps through various areas of the community and doing other work so PSC&G can come in and complete the road paving on some of the roads that they have been working on. But even with this additional work, it will result in a decrease of that contract by $9,481. Resolution number 243 is a resolution authorizing the township to increase the not to exceed amount for the Route 23 Auto Mall regarding the purchase of two Ford vehicles for the Recreation and Fire Department. This is for a pickup truck for the Fire Department and a pickup truck for the Recreation Department. Resolution number 244 is a resolution authorizing a contract to ESI Equipment for the purchase of a whole Martro extrication rescue tools. So this is for the fire department, and this is for large vehicle extrication. Give us a little brief on that, Chief.
Up with the mic.
Jaws of life, right?
Yes, yes. It's just vehicle extrication tools that we use on not just vehicles, but any kind of person that may be trapped in any kind of item. We can use our extrication tools, commonly known as like Jaws of life or cutters and spreaders and stuff like that to extricate that person or whoever is trapped.
And this was allocated in our 2025 capital budget. Resolution number 245 is authorizing to place municipal charges on certain properties for failing to address property maintenance violations. Resolution 246 is a resolution to amend an agreement with Axon Enterprises, which is a contract participant in the New Jersey State Approved Purchasing Cooperative Contract. We entered into a contract with Axon a few years ago. It was a 10-year contract to provide services regarding body cameras. So this contract is going to include an upgrade of our police tasers to Taser 10. And it also is including a community request module, a redaction assistant modules, and additional body cameras for new police employees. And unfortunately, Chief Bucks is not with us this evening, but I will have it at his next meeting to tell you what the upgrades to the new Taser 10 is. Resolution number 247 is authorizing a non-matching salary or deferral contributions pursuant to ordinance 25-09 and directing that this resolution be appended or the ordinance be appended. So section 5 of the ordinance establishes provisions for deferred compensation contributions for certain township employees. Our retirement solutions provider nationwide submitted a request to clarify that such a contribution may be offered as either a salary or deferral contribution, which is consistent with federal deferred compensation program requirements. So they're literally asking that you include these two words, salary or deferral, into that to clarify the intent of what the contribution is. So resolution number 248 is a resolution authorizing the execution of a shared service agreement between the Township of Willingboro and the Willingboro Public Library Board of Trustees for Human Resource Services. After our former library director left our employ, it was discovered that the Willingboro Library was actually under civil service, and they do not have anyone over there qualified or educated, ready to manage the rules of civil service. So after speaking with the library board president, we did talk about having a shared service where our human resources manager will go and kind of manage the library's HR from a high level perspective, but we will not be involved in doing their salary reviews or their performance reviews, but we're just making sure that they are operating within the laws and policies and procedures of civil service in the New Jersey Department of Labor. And then finally, resolution number 249 is accepting the $175,000 grant to fund the construction and installation of the accessible fishing dock at Crystal Lake and authorizing the mayor to sign that agreement. And those are all the items that we are presenting to you for this evening. And I feel air.
Sounded. Hear it. Thank you, Mr. Harris, for those explanations. So we do see error in the agenda. The numbering is off, and our deputy clerk is coming in with the right ones.
To clarify, everything was presented correctly. You just have the incorrect numbering on your recent packets.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, this is right. Thank you. So there were a few items on the agendas that we have that are not on the actual agenda. They didn't make it to the actual agenda. But thank you, Mr. Harris, for presenting everything. At this time, we will open the first public comment for agenda items only. This public comment is for 2 minutes. The cards to speak are in the back. If you'd like to speak, please come up to the podium and present your card to the clerk or the deputy clerk, and you will have 2 minutes. Public comment is now open. Sir, are you coming to speak during this public comment on agenda items? Was it anything that was mentioned just in the? No? Okay. All right. So that'll be for the second public comment. But you can fill out your card still. All right. Seeing none, this public comment is now closed. Are there any resolutions that council would like to pull from a consent agenda? No? Seeing none? All right, Madam Clerk, we'll start with the ordinances and then we'll do a consent agenda for the resolutions.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have one ordinance for introduction tonight, ordinance 2025-18. This ordinance is entitled Ordinance Governing the Management of Community Cats in Willingboro Township, Burlington County, New Jersey. Can I get a motion to introduce this ordinance?
So moved.
Second?
Madam Clerk, can you speak up a little bit to
Yeah.
your microphone?
Yeah, I apologize. Okay, roll call. Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And then ordinances for public comment, public comment and final adoption is ordinance 2025-17, which is entitled Ordinance Authorizing the Municipal Clerk to Correct Non-Substantial and Non-Material Errors in Legislation. Anyone wishing to come forward to comment on this ordinance only, please do so. Seeing none, I'd like to close public comment. Can I get a motion to finally pass ordinance 2025-17?
So moved.
Second. Moved by Deputy Mayor Worthy, seconded by Councilman Anderson. Roll call?
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Nope, Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy, I apologize.
No worries.
Yes.
And Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. That's all of the ordinances we have for this evening.
All right, I'd like to propose a consent agenda for resolutions 2025-239 through 2025-249.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Councilwoman McIntosh, seconded by Councilwoman Perone.
Roll call, Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy.
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the same?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman McIntosh, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Roll
Roll-
call?
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy.
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Moving on, we have a treasurer's report from September. Can I get a motion and second to approve the treasurer's report dated September 29th, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Roll call?
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy.
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And then we do have one set of minutes for approval tonight from September 16th, 2025. Can I get a motion and second to approve the regular meeting minutes from the state?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Worthy. Roll call?
Councilwoman Perone,
Yes.
Councilman Anderson,
Yes.
Councilwoman McIntosh,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dr. Worthy.
Yes.
Mayor Whitfield.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And then Madam Mayor, if I may move on to my
Madam Clerk, your report, please.
Thank you. So not much for my report this evening. I did want to do my reminders about the election again because it is coming up quickly. General election is November 4th, 2025 at all the normal polling locations from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Voter registration deadline is October 14th. If you want to register to vote and it is October 14th, please consider either coming to the municipal council building to the clerk's office or bringing your application right to the county's office. It's the most efficient way to get your registration to them on time. However, they will accept anything that's postmarked October 14th just to be more efficient. I can send it right to them. Early voting is from October 25th to November 2nd at the Willingboro Public Library. The deadline to apply for a vote by mail-in ballot through the mail is October 28th, but if you want to apply for a vote by mail-in ballot in person at the county, you have up until November 3rd at 3 p.m. to do so. You should be slowly seeing vote by mail-in ballots come. They started being mailed out by the county on September 20th, so they should be arriving in the next couple weeks. We do have a ballot drop box that's monitored 24/7 by camera and is picked up daily for residents that would like to utilize it, or of course you can send it right through the mail. And then finally, not about elections, but I did have my quarterly meeting with the mayor and deputy mayor yesterday, just to go over, my yearly goals, make sure we're still on track. So I will have an updated presentation for the rest of council to you, by tomorrow afternoon. And that is my report for today.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Any questions for our clerk?
Thank you.
Councilwoman McIntosh.
Are there any updates on any new permits or anything that happened, this month? solicitor, food trucks?
Yes, that should be going out. I sent my, I got a little backed up. I sent my August report out pretty late in September, but you should have the, September report, by probably early next week. I'm getting all the numbers. And I'll be sending that out to you guys. There's no new solicitors though.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions for our clerk? All right, seeing none, thank you, Madam Clerk, for your report. We will move on to unfinished business. For our unfinished business, we have been talking a lot about the renovations at JFK. And there were some plans that were sent out by Mr. Harris for council to review the proposed renovation plan. Mr. Harris, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
So thank you, Mayor, and you pretty much covered it. The plans were pretty much sent to council for your review, your comments and your input. And we need to hear back from you so we can determine if we're ready to go and prepare bid documents. So if everyone is satisfied with what has been presented, if you have any questions, please feel free to stop by my office and we can discuss them and just answer any questions that you may have. So we will be able to determine whether we're not to have instruct Alima to go ahead and prepare the bid documents and put that project out to bid.
Okay. Were there any questions on any of the materials that were sent out? Did everybody receive them? Okay. All right, so please make sure you get that feedback back to Mr. Harris, preferably by this coming Friday, so he can move forward with the process for those renovations. One other thing I did want to mention that's not on the agenda is our master plan. I did send out a link, or I had our clerk send out a link to all of our council members for our master plan. The draft has been put together with all of the proposed elements. I'll just ask you to spend some time to review that document. It is quite lengthy, but it does set the plan for the next 10 years of our community. So take a minute to review all of the things that are proposed in that document. It is a plan for Willingboro. So once we go through as council and we feel it's okay, then we will present it along with our planners to the community. And then it'll be approved by the planning board. It'll come to us for final approval. But we do want to make sure that we're okay with the state that it's in before we present it to the community. All right. All right. Any other unfinished business? Seeing none, any new business? I don't have any. Councilwoman Pearl.
Yes, thank you. So, a couple of things. As we recall, we renamed our street to Veterans Parkway a couple of years ago. And so, given Veteran coming up, I met with the Parade and Events Committee, and I had this idea that I wanted to bring to the council to see if you were interested in adopting this program. It's called the Hometown Hero Banner Program. And what it is they basically will put up a banner on a street pole with a veteran that has served in service, whatever their rank is. It doesn't have to be a person who's passed away. It could be a current veteran. Ideally, the idea is to have an application for anyone in the residence community to submit as a suggestion to create a banner or put a banner in this person's name, which would be more of like a lengthier process. However, because we wanted to try to do something for November, and I did speak with the company, I'm going to get to the numbers real quick in a minute. It is a 2-week turnaround to produce the banners. Each banner, there's 3 different sizes. So the banners range from $84 to the most being $124 per banner. And the banners are double-sided. And the brackets that go on the poles, they're 2 different types, but they're both $69 per pole. So there's a deluxe banner, which is more for wooden poles, and then there's a junior banner, which is for like the decorative black poles that some communities have. In addition to, there's additional shipping costs. Now, as far as installation, he said most communities, their public works department install on the poles. However, if we don't have a way to get them installed on the poles, that is an additional service that they would charge additional for. So we were looking to possibly get maybe about 8 to 10 people to send them a letter of the community that we know of. One of the people who we know, Mayor Campbell, who's passed away, he would be a family member that we would send a letter to and just say, we want to honor you in this way and this and that. They would need to get us a picture back. I would be the main contact with the Hometown Banner program. Submit the application and they would design and create the banner. There are multiple different designs. So what I would like to do, if you're interested, is also email you the different designs. This way we have a uniform look and the council is okay with what design we go with. What else is there? And then, like I said, that's just for now. He said he said he would try to make a rush job to get it done by November 11th. And I heard Ms. Jackson say to have a breakfast, because that's another thing I was thinking the first time go around when we introduced the program, to have something like to monument the moment that we're going to be having this program. And then we'd have more additional banners, such as maybe Memorial Day. Somebody can submit an application on their family or something, and then it could be selected to be for a banner. But since we don't have enough time to do the selection process, just actually come up with some names to create a banner for them. So the first part is, are you interested in entering it's called Hometown Hero Banner Program?
Council, any comments, questions?
I mean, I've seen exactly what she's speaking about. Actually, I just saw it this week in Delaware. My concern is, one, how many polls do we have? Number two, it needs to be a process that's inclusive of everybody. And it's just a matter of, let's say this year we took in 10 people, 5 people, whatever it is, but each year do something, as far as an induction. But I think it needs to be opened up to everybody. And we, look through who submits who wants to participate. I think you may get a little slack if we just start picking people right from the top. So I just think the way we advertise it and get the feedback, but it's something I would support based on hearing what the numbers is, what the impact is to the township. But I think it's definitely a very worthy cause. This is a veteran-based community, and I would love nothing more but to, show our love and our support for those veterans.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Anyone else? Councilwoman McIntosh.
No, I have seen these also. I think it's a great idea. I kind of have the same sentiment as Councilman Anderson in terms of just picking right now. I think that can get a little complicated. I also was curious how other towns funded it. I know some towns in North Jersey, people who are interested in having their picture up funded, and I'm okay either way, but I was just curious how many polls there are, how many, what's our landscape that we can work with. But I definitely support this initiative. I think it's a great idea, especially for this town. But I think the turnaround's a little quick.
It is, yeah. So November, like I said, November's right around the corner. It is a matter of 4 weeks we're talking about. That's why initially, like I said, was if you had somebody in mind just for the initiation of it. However, going forward, and they actually have forms. They actually give us forms that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We'll make it Willingboro, of course, and anyone in the community, really. I mean, we can decide how we want to do it, but really it's open to anyone, staff members, residents of Willingboro, could submit an application for our consideration for that person to being placed on the banner. That would take a process as far as jumping it off if you're interested. So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're not interested in jumping it off now, like just picking names. You'd rather just go through it maybe next year or something, select people, or even Memorial Day for.
I think this is a great idea for a program, especially with the naming of Veterans Parkway.
On that
It
street,
would be
that's the
very
street.
fitting to do the
Mhm.
veterans banners along Veterans Parkway. I think one thing that we would have to consider for this is how long the banners are going to be up, because with the elements, wear and tear, sun bleaching, I don't want them to get destroyed and then we don't have the money appropriated to replace them once something happens to the banners over time. So if they're up for Memorial Day and for the month of November for Veterans Day.
About if they're up for a year or they've been selected for, like how you have a president for the year or committee or chair for the year, and then you fold it up and give it to the family member, just remembrance of maybe along with the proclamation, this is
Mhm.
for you, for your family member, you know. I don't know how many poles there are. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, but I'm saying Veterans
Yeah.
Parkway, that's the street I was
Yeah.
thinking of. And as far as funding it, I was thinking we would pay for it. I think $124 is not, I feel like something we could do. I don't know if there are other, I didn't ask him that question, if other people pay for their own family members, but I was more thinking we would
Mhm.
pay for the banner and the bracket. Now, the brackets, of course, you just buy it one time. So we're just, taking down the banner in that time period that we decided on. And maybe it is something that we need like a resolution for, as far as laying
Yeah.
out the formalities behind it. This way it's clear, this way nobody feels slighted, like, oh, why did you leave this person up for 2 years? You left this person for 1 year.
Right.
So that's one thought. Okay, so
Yeah.
I have some takeaway. I'll forward you the emails, as you, Mr. Havers, as well. My communication with the gentleman. I'll take it back to the committee and let them know that we're interested, but we do want to spend some more time on it. So maybe by the next meeting, we'll talk about next steps and then decide if you want to do it for Memorial Day or you want to wait to Veterans Day, the next. When do you want to? And it doesn't have to be on those. It can be Christmas. It
Yeah.
can, I watched the video. I'll show you a video. A lot of towns have done it. Some people are doing it around Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. So we don't have to wait for those two holidays to start the program.
Mhm.
But I do agree, maybe we need to look at formalities as far as making everything, legit, as far as resolutions and what it looks like on paper. And go ahead, I think, Mr. I think.
Just
Uh,
food for thought. I think if we put out a survey, but also including a survey, who would be willing to pay? Because I'm pretty sure there may be some families that say, hey, we would love to pay for it to honor our loved ones. I think as far as time, we might, if we can come to a consensus here, you might be able to announce this initiative on Veterans Day as part of that program.
Mhm.
Okay? Just food for thought.
All right.
And
And if-
start to get those applications in and start planning for release next Veterans Day. I think that would be great. Or before. Okay.
And just for your information, there are 25 approved poles along Veterans
Oh,
Parkway
good. That's
where we
good.
can hang banners.
Okay, so we know 25. So that's good to know.
Okay. Dr. Worthy?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think that, I know for me, just the selection process in terms of how, what the criteria is, is there proof of service required? We've tried to recognize veterans in the past and some veterans weren't recognized for whatever reasons, and still haven't been. So I think being mindful of how we're doing it, what's the selection process, who's making, the selections. I also think about, we have the paver project that was started a number of years ago in Mill Creek Park, where people could buy the pavers and put those in, and that project wasn't completed. Not sure if we want to, finish that project or add now the banners, or people could have options of if they want the banner on veterans and or the paver project, that's still in Mill Creek Park. I'd also be mindful of, is it a veteran thing? If it's for veterans, yes, those who have passed away are veterans, but they're typically honored on Memorial Day. So thinking about how we present it, how it's presented, what is it, what are we trying to accomplish? Because you don't do Memorial Day stuff during Veterans Day. Like, it just, the Memorial Day is for those who have passed. So, but I understand the tribute, but I'm just saying we want to be mindful, because if it's for living veterans, you wouldn't want to launch the program during Memorial Day season. So just being mindful of how it's placed. And then I do like the idea of sharing it on Veterans Day of this program is coming, more to come, we'll be moving forward on that. I think that's something that people can get excited about. And then the last thing was, there are more sustainable things we can do to support veterans in our community besides banners. There are programs for veteran-friendly communities where you have parking spaces for veterans or for Purple Heart medal recipients, where veterans receive different preferences on different things. The state of New Jersey has a program on how to become a veteran-friendly town. And I think those types of initiatives are very well received by veterans, while the credit, a picture, a banner, those are nice things too, but there are other actionable things that can be done to actually support veterans that are living in the town. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Dr. Worthy.
Yeah, I just want to
Bloomberg.
answer to Deputy Mayor's concerns and questions. So this Homestown Hero Banner Program would be the committee of the Parade and Events Committee. So we, as a council, have appointed people to that committee. Just like the Phenomenal Woman, we don't pick who's going to be selected. We select the committee. So the committee of those bodies, of that body, would be the committee that would handle the applications and then bring forth the names to the council. Here's who's been selected this year, whatever, for, for our approval and stamp, okay, this way we're not surprised who it is. That's the idea. But as far as like the design of what it looks like, I was thinking that's where we can incorporate the council, because we do want to make sure we're keeping the look and feel of Willingboro, how we want, how we're moving with it. So I wanted to, and it's this, when you see the email, there's like hundreds of different designs, and I think mismatch would be really.
Yeah.
So, and even if we change the design of it each year, once they come down, we'll pick another one. But I think that was the idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a great idea. We just want to make sure that we have a resolution or a ordinance, a process, so
Right.
that the program is sustainable and it just doesn't happen one time
Right.
and then goes
that's
away.
and that's the idea. It's not supposed to be a one-time thing, and
Right.
it's not. The Memorial Day was because if we don't do it, Veterans Day, but Memorial is only for those who have passed away. I was trying to, like I said, just select 5 to 8 people that we'd select, and it's just a matter of printing it and sending them a letter. We've selected you for this year to start off to initiate the program. And then going forward, we have the application process. But that would have been on Veterans Day or any other day that's not, it doesn't have, because it doesn't have to be Veterans Day. But of course, if it's Memorial Day, then the people who we would honor that day would be people who've already passed away, not on days that it's not. However, if we were to select a group of people for the banner program on a day that's not Veterans Day or it's not Memorial Day, it could be somebody that's passed away or living and currently serving. So that I wanted to answer that. Does that answer your questions, Madam? Okay. Yes, wanted to be clear on that. I do have. So is that we good? We good there? Okay, because I have another new business item that I wanted to bring to the table. So again, I will send you those emails so we can look at that for the other item. So this, I would like to see if you're interested in creating another committee, Willingboro Committee. This committee would be the pageant committee, Princess Willingboro and Prince Willingboro pageants, as well as Mr. Willingboro and Miss Willingboro, MISS. So the Princess and Prince Willingboro would be our elementary, middle school age students. And of course, Mr. and Miss Willingboro will be high school age students, could also be college students. The purpose of this committee would be not just to propose to advertise physical beauty. However, the component of it is to also emphasize intelligence, talent, leadership, and promote community service encouragement. So those students or children who were selected or voted in would be Mr. or Miss Willingboro for the year. And for the younger children, it would be Princess or Prince Willingboro for the year. They would visit our different council meetings or different events that are going on through the police department, through the fire department, all of our events to make, announcements, presence, and of course, promoting positive and well-behaved behaviors, manners, and so forth. And the council would award them, of course, with a trophy. They would be also a financial check for that child for that year. And the committee would be a committee of, just like how we select other committee meet people for the, from the community would be parents, residents. You don't have to have children in the community. It could be anyone that wants to register for the committee to run the program in Willingboro. So this committee would be a committee that would need small budget for the things that I talked about. They would also need a space to practice. So that would be more, I'm thinking more the JFK Center. So again, that's a new committee. I wanted to see what your thoughts were regarding that. And of course, this is a student program. So just advertising through our families in Willingboro. They don't have to be students of Willingboro schools. I know some students go to school out of district, but they should be a resident of Willingboro. So what are your thoughts about that new committee?
Anyone have thoughts?
Yes, my personal thoughts is this sounds more like a school district initiative. Have you spoken to them to see if this is something they would want to take the lead on?
No, because it's not going to be a school initiative. That's what I wanted to
No, I'm
make
saying
sure.
it sounds like a school district.
It's more like football, like you know how we have football, we have the Panthers. It's not with the school, but the students go to the school. We have dance programs. It's not a school program. It's not for the teachers to put it on. It's not for the parents to put it on. This is an idea that it's a committee of residents of Willingboro that would run a manager's program for our children. Like it says, you know, it takes a village to raise a child. So just because your child is not in school, but you could be a grandmom or you could be an auntie that doesn't have children and want to participate in helping educate and teach our children leadership skills and so forth. And even including us, having been, I served on the school board, I've served on council, being able to teach our younger children certain skills and add advice, you know, things like that. So this is not, it's not meant to be a school program. It really is meant to be a community program that we house here in Willingboro underneath our umbrella as council, not for the school.
Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you, Mayor. I love the idea of doing something with the youth and the community and getting them engaged. I think that that's what's really appealing to me. I think that for me, what I would be looking for is the connection back to civic engagement and how we can increase interest in civics. I'd be more interested in something like having a student mayor, a student council member, something like that, that's more in alignment with a core need we have in town, which is getting students more engaged in civics and having them more informed about what's happening in their community and figuring out how we could use that pathway. For me, I'm not as interested in the pageantry, but I do think that there is a need to connect with our students, whether they're in Willingboro School District or not, but they're residents of our town. But I would be interested in doing something. My whole line of work is supporting youth. So I'm interested, but I'm not interested in the pageantry part of it, but I would be interested in some kind of civic engagement, youth in government, something to that effect.
Anyone else?
So, you had something?
Thoughts on the pageant. So I do think it would be a nice program to have here in Willingboro, but I don't think that it should be something housed under the council umbrella or something that the municipality should put on. Typically our programs are either civic based or you know, on the recreation department and the recreation side. I don't, not that I think it would be valuable, but I think it would be better served as like a resident initiative, something that residents put on themselves and versus something that was sponsored by council.
Well, that's why it's a committee, just like the residents that are in Willingboro are on committees and they serving their community through the committee. So, and it would promote leadership. Everyone doesn't become the mayor. So some people become principals, some people become congresswomen and congressmen. So in the beauty pageant, like I said, it's to promote all of types of leadership and responsibilities and so forth, speaking, things like that. So you're not interested in the program, in the beauty pageant program, not I don't know, I know Tiffany mentioned something else, but this program, you're not interested. Is that right?
I'm not in favor for a beauty pageant
Okay.
sponsored by the municipality.
So that's all I have for new business. Those are the two.
Okay. All right. Anyone else have any other new business? All right, seeing none, we will continue on with our agenda. Next is public comment. This is our general public comment. It is for 4 minutes. Please come up, state your name, and hand your card to either the deputy clerk or our clerk. You'll have 4 minutes for this public comment on any general items. Public comment is now open.
Hello,
Good evening.
good evening. And I first like to apologize when my phone went off. I didn't mean to disrespect anybody. I forgot to put it on vibrate. I was embarrassed. I'm sorry. I tell my son all the time, we go somewhere, do that. And I did it myself. So my name is Ricky Boone. I'm at 5 Brunswick Lane. And the reason I'm coming to speak to you today is because I was surprised. My son called me and I got this flyer or summons in my door in regards to my basketball court net that we have in our driveway. I've been there for 37 years and always had a basketball court there. Never had a problem. No neighbors or nothing. Kids come there, they play all the time. Now I get this and they say, I got 2 days to remove it. I called them up and they told me I have to remove it, put it in the back. But then they said, if I have a permanent one, I can keep a permanent one there. If I had a permanent one there before, it got old, so we took that down and we got a portable one there. But the portable one, you have to have it weighted down so it doesn't fall or anything with the wind. So it's a big inconvenience if we have to try to remove that all the time and then bring it back when the kids wanna play. And I asked them, there has to be something that can be done with this ordinance where there's some type of variance or something that could be done, because, I mean, I understand it's not down at the in the street or anything. It's always been in my driveway. I had that extended so the kids can play. And that's what I'm coming before you guys now to see if there's something that can be done about this. I mean, I don't want to have to go and because the guy told me, oh, put it in your back and get some concrete and put it up there. Yeah, my yard is not that big in Willingboro in the back that I'm gonna put concrete in my backyard. No, and I didn't want to have to get a new permanent one put out front. So like I said, the basketball court is not hurting anybody. There's no complaints or anything like that. And I don't know why the ordinance was put in for the basketball court. I can understand the trampoline and those things, grills and all that, I can understand, but for the basketball court, I don't understand. And I hope that's something that you guys can amend, or if there can be a variance or a waiver or something that can get done where I don't have to remove that.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Room.
thank you.
And we do answer public comment at the end of public comment. Any other public comment?
Good evening. My name is Sandra Thompson and I live in Wilbur. It's my first time here. My neighbor told me about that there's gonna be a meeting here, so here I'm at. So anyway, my problem is on my street, I have 2 people that do not take care of their property. I've been to the township twice or maybe 3 times. My neighbor also has been to the township about these 2 houses. And one house, they're selling drugs. And one of the people that live there, they have warrants for their arrest. That's been called in. She called the police. Nobody's doing anything. And we talk about Willingboro making it safe to live. It's not safe. So it's just unacceptable to me. So I don't know what you're gonna do about it. But you need to do something. Because on my street, everybody keeps their property up. They do the laws and everything like that, but when people move in, they do not take care of their property. And I've been up there quite a few times. So I don't know what you're gonna do.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Thompson, and we'll have a response.
I hope somebody goes over there and do what they need to do.
We will have a response right after public comment. Anyone else for public comment? Seeing none, public comment is now closed. Mr. Harris, can you have Mr. Tunstall come up and talk about the basketball nets?
Mr. Tunstall, it's your night.
You gotta come to the mic.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
Madam
Mr. Tunstall.
Mayor and council, as well as the public. All right, so earlier in the year, we were asked to generate an ordinance that would take care of items that were placed in the front yards, like basketball courts, trampolines, grills, items, accessories that really don't belong in the front. Basketball courts is one of those items. As Mr. Boone said, we talked extensively. This ordinance was passed earlier this year, and it requires that the basketball courts be placed in the rear. This ordinance was designed and developed through the direction of the council to move forward with this. So he did state that if the court was permanent, that it did not have to be removed, but that is only related to permanent courts that were in place prior to this ordinance being passed. So all basketball courts, all trampolines, all apparatus that does not belong in the front of the property, and they're clearly stated exactly what they are expected to be placed in the rear. Now, what is the question?
Well, you just explained the ordinance, so I appreciate that. Council, is there Mr. Anderson?
Well, I know prior to us making this request, there were some concerns that came into council, such as those portable basketball courts falling over. Even though they were weighted, they were damaging other people's property, such as cars. We had a couple of those situations, safety issues, so that at that time when it came to us, we started, thinking about what can we do to help remediate that moving forward. So that was one of the reasons why this came to the forefront, along with the other items mentioned.
No, not right now, but we can talk to you after the meeting. So that is, there are reasons behind why the ordinances are passed. We typically don't do waivers or variances for these. But if council is interested, that is something we can take a look at to see if there are any changes we'd like to make to the current ordinance. And if you have any ideas on if there's any changes that you would like to suggest, then you can just send them to myself or the clerk, and we'll discuss it at a later meeting. But thank you, Mr. Boone, for your comment. Ms. Thompson discussed 2 properties on her street that are not being taken care of. And I think that's back to Mr. Tunstall, huh?
Securing those addresses as we speak, as of course,
You get the mic. Microphone.
as you know, inspections is responsible for property maintenance and ensuring that residents maintain their properties. I will secure those addresses from our residents and try to resolve that matter. Now, as far as the police matters, that is not my responsibility.
Mr. Tunstall, we do have our police officer here tonight. Thanks, and you want to come up and say anything?
Hello, council, hi residents. When it comes down to the warrants, give us a phone call and we'll see what we can do. We can't violate people's rights, but we sure will accept the phone calls. We delighted to have the phone calls, actually. So, but I will assure you this, if a person knows they have a warrant, once we pull up, they're gonna run and go in the house. We can't go in the house and take them out of the house.
We can't,
Okay.
ma'am, we can't have the back and forth, but you can talk to
Yes, you can talk.
Bengtson or Mr. Tunstall after the meeting. All right. Thank you for those public comments. If you have any other public comments or any of those folks that are watching online, you can send those public comments into the clerk's office, and we will be sure to make sure we respond. All right, council comments. Anyone have any comments before we close? Councilman Anderson.
Just want to thank everybody for coming out, those online, those in attendance. Also, while I was at church, yes, I do go to church. I had the opportunity to be approached by several residents who were very pleased with the dog poop stations that were placed. So they thought it was a good idea for those, folks who forget to come out with their bags and so forth. So I just wanted to bring it to the table to say they were very pleased, the residents I spoke with. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Anyone else? No. Deputy Mayor Worthy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you for everyone who came out. Just a reminder, you can communicate with us via email or talk to the clerk even between meetings if there are issues and concerns that we can address. While we appreciate the dialogue here, as you know, it's only 4 minutes and then there's not any conversation really that we can have, but we're always open to the dialogue. I also want to remind everyone we have a highly contested election coming up, and I think it's important to make sure that you get to know everyone on the ballot and know so that you can make an informed decision. Also in Willingboro, you may or may not know, we have a school board election this year, so please look at your entire ballot. There are 5 candidates running for 3 seats. So I think it's really important to understand what the concerns and challenges are in our school district, what's working well, areas for improvement, and get to know the candidates, all of them, and understand what their vision and plan is and how they'll work with the residents and the administration to try to bring those things to bear. So it's a huge election. I just ask everyone to please just take the time. It's a highly politicized time that we're living in right now. It's easy to become very apathetic, but please just take time to take a look at the ballot. The sample ballots are online. You'll also get them in the mail so that you can take a look, and just encourage you to do your duties and exercise your muscle in your right to vote. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. All right. Well, thank you all for coming out. As you can see, we handle a lot of business at these meetings, but we also want to keep you informed and hear your concerns, questions, and comments on how we're doing and things that you want to see done. So as always, thank you for coming. I do want to give a shout out to the DPW department for an incredible Clean Communities cleanup. Again, we had over 100 residents come out to clean up our streets last week, and it was just a really great time for people to just pitch in and do their part on something that we all want to see, which is a clean and safe community. Also, shout out to the library on their town center day. It was a very big success. Lots of businesses came out and gave, had samples or shared their services, and it was a good time for folks to get together at the town center. We want you all to stay involved and stay engaged, so make sure you download our Willingboro Connect app, sign up for the Willingboro Weekly, and I also wanted to give a shout out to a resident that has started a new periodical, Borough News Today, Miss Kiana Foreman, and they're around town in distribution, so if you see them, make sure you pick that up. All right. Thank you all for coming tonight, and I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Second.
Heard.
All right. Moved by Councilwoman McIntosh, seconded by Councilwoman Perrone. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nope.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Good night,
Time
everyone.
is now 8:44. We are now adjourned.